Hey, how goes it? So this is going to be a slightly different episode. I'm doing post-commentary because this puzzle took me like an hour, maybe a little longer to figure out. It's not a particularly hard puzzle. It's just like, it's difficult. There's a lot of timing and stuff, so we're just going to watch me do this whole thing at 300 times speed. And there might be some breaks in me talking, because in a lot of cases there's nothing to say. I'm just going to let you guys watch what I was doing. And of course we got the lovely music playing in the whole background, because I can't speed up the game audio without it sounding like it's going to rip your ears off. So, my first idea here was to go armored as fuck. Now unfortunately I can't place armor on top of the brackets that I have on the back of this thing. So I'm just armoring the sides as best I can, and I've got a shield where my rotating spiky arm was. And that's as armored as we're gonna get. And I'm seeing how well the metal armor holds up. And it seems to do okay until the one little weak spot in my wheel hits, and then that happens. So yeah, plan B. I decided that one was too heavy, it was too clunky. We're gonna make a similar thing. It's gonna be like an armored tank. It's I want it to be lighter and a little more agile. Now keep in mind, this is like, since I recorded this, the next version of the game has come out. It's been patched, new stuff has been added. So there's now like better wheels and like gears and stuff like that. As you can see, a lot of that stuff just isn't in this version. This is 0.01, I think I'm playing this on, is the first version to come out a couple days after the game came out. And I'm also right here, I'm working on a different steering system. I think I'm gonna do like a I'm gonna try using that other, what is it, this weird steering majig. I think it's on backwards, which makes it really hard to drive, but it doesn't matter because you get spun around frequently anyways. But I want like I think this is how these are meant to be used. I'm not really certain. But yeah, so things have changed a lot in the newest version of the game. There's a lot of new neat things, which is going to play a part in one of the next things I end up making. Hint, if you can tell by the length of this video, this design doesn't work. It comes close though. It could have worked. I think I'm opting for different armor here because I think it would just like give me more coverage if I do this, more important coverage. I'm pretty sure this thing doesn't work so well. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm bracing it because it's wobbly. Turns okay. A little hard to control, like everything in this game, and it just falls apart to even the slightest amount of arrows. I mean, it's at 300 times speed, so arrows are coming into it a little slower than they look, but man, those tires just fall right the fuck off. So it's a little better braced. The arrows are coming in, I'm trying to beat them. You have to be moving faster than the arrows, or just they start hitting you, one thing falls off and it's destroyed. So let's try something new. Now here I get creative and desperate. I haven't tried anything with flying really, other than that one thing I made before. And this kind of works. As you can see, I flipped myself into the first goal pretty easily. I can't do it again, so now I'm going to experiment with balancing and trying to figure out how I can control the flight of this. Now in the newest version, they have ballasts. I haven't tried them yet, but they allow you to change the angle of weight. Now I was hoping that these wings would actually create lift if you spun them, which is ridiculous. Why would physics work? Also, they're not angled slightly, so that doesn't actually work. But I did realize the fucking wings can take a lot of punishment. without falling off. So maybe a spinning shield would be somewhere between awesome and fucking great. So that's an idea, a spinning wing shield. Some of this is kind of cringy, I think, because I don't know how flying works in this game at all. So we're just going to experiment with everything. Now this actually does work, I believe, yes, but it doesn't have any kind of counterbalance, so it just fucking eats shit every time I try. But we're going to try and capitalize on this design. I'm going to make a helicopter, a dual blade helicopter. Unfortunately, physics don't work quite right. Now I'm just going to test this to see if it has lift. Okay, it does. So, next I'm like, alright, I think this is where I say to myself that we need a rotor. And, also, I'm trying to think of, like, okay, internal game logic. Oh no, I decide I'm going to go with a quadcopter first. Because that could work. Unfortunately, I can't adjust the speed of each rotor on its own, so it just does that, which is terrific for lift, but it's not good. I can't steer it. I can't nudge it in one direction with these little ornithopter blade things. Those don't work. Trying to put a couple on each side to stabilize it. I'm trying to figure out a rotor blade design. I decided maybe I should just make a big rotor blade on the side. Unfortunately, physics don't actually do that in this game. And I'm just playing with them because I'm not really sure how these propeller blades actually create lift in the game's internal logic. So I'm like, maybe putting them here will trick the engine into thinking that this is how physics work. I don't know, you gotta try and think of how games do this weird shit. Now I'm starting to get a little bit tail heavy, which is a problem. But I'm still trying to work on this rotor. And I don't know how, but sometimes it's just fucking flying off, and sometimes this thing just hits the ground. And you see me starting this over and over again because even though I'm started as high in the box as I can, like in the spawn area, if you don't start flying the millisecond you push start, it drops too much and just flips the fuck out. So I decided, fuck the helicopter, it's not working. Let's try something a little different. Let's see if we can just drag ourselves forwards with a giant plane. We don't have enough lift. Alright, we need more lift. Ornithopter blades. I believe it's called an ornithopter. It's a weird Da Vinci helicopter thing that doesn't work. More. We need more. These wings do nothing. I don't even remember. Oh yeah, I decided I was going to try putting this thing here and see if I could shift the body to change the direction. And of course it just says no and flips itself over and crashes in fucking ground over and over again. Put some on the back to try and give us some forward momentum. Doesn't work. Fuck all that. A waste of time. God damn it. We're gonna do this though, because I know these create a fuckload of lift. Let's see what happens. No, it just flips over and dies. Flying in this game is, it's unpolished, but I'm gonna keep trying at it. I've got a couple more ideas. Let's just see what happens when we put a couple of these on here. And, we're gonna make some wheels. Oh no, I think at this point I gave up and I decided... Oh no, I remember now, I cut out some pieces. I made a few more flying machines. They went nowhere. I decided it wasn't worth watching. I'm actually watching this in my editor and recording the audio for it right now. I just ran over that guy. That was pretty satisfying. I believe at this point small and fast is the way to go. And unfortunately we need armor, which will slow us down. But man, you need it to keep us from fucking dying instantly to arrows. Now, armor's weird, and it's actually going into itself. Physics don't physics here. So this shows promise, but man, this thing's really hard to control. Like, the slightest tap will turn you almost 90 degrees. You have to do a very, very tiny little tap. I mean, if you've ever driven in any, PC game using arrows or WASD, it can be iffy. So here I'm just kind of practicing driving some figure eights to try and get used to this and see how fast the arrows go. I'm just going to pick this up in case somehow I manage to do it. And then I'm like, fuck it, this isn't working. I think our wheel might have got knocked off back there. Alright, so at this point I'm like, alright, the archers are a problem. How are we going to handle this? Can I light them on fire? I'm going to have to build a tower on this thing so I can go up there and burn them. But it's an option, maybe. I think that's a little too high. That'll work. And it's really hard to aim the flamethrower because, like I said, oh Jesus, turning even a little can turn you anywhere between 45 and 90 degrees. That was good. That was a quality fucking effort right there. So yeah, the flamethrower, fuck it, not gonna work. Maybe, just maybe, I can exploit this game just a tiny bit. So what we're gonna try is building a cannon. Now this looks stupid right now, but you'll see what I'm about to do. There you go. It is no longer attached to me, and it works like a charm. So that gets rid of about half the archers. Unfortunately, I hit that body, which fucked me up a little bit. Also, I forgot to put the armor back on my core cube thing. So, but we have an idea. I think I need to modify this to make it a little easier to steer. Also, maybe putting my cube thing in the back will help a little. Because I think if that thing gets hit, my whole creation gets destroyed, which is, you know, not great. We're doing okay, but unfortunately you spin around really, really easily. And that joint is still really weak. So I'm going to back up and try and get away from the arrows for a second so I can outpace them. And it's just not really, I don't know, this thing's really unwieldy. So, not going great. Now this coming up here, right, here comes the cut. Okay, this is in real time. If you look up the top, I have the time, or I have the speed turned down to 12%. Now I've modified my design a little bit, made it so it has a little bit wider wheels, which it needs to help me turn. Because with the tighter wheels, you have really tighter pivoting axis. So you turn at like a 0-degree turn on those things sometimes. So here I'm going, and this is real speed that I'm playing at. Because remember, you can turn down the speed in this game for slow motion for dramatic effects, but you can also turn it down to slow motion for better control. Sometimes playing it, I found playing at 50% speed is actually kind of nice because you can see things coming in, you can react a lot better, and it's a lot harder to accidentally touch the button a little bit too hard, and your machine pivots and breaks itself in half. Because that happens if you can't see that you're going too far in one direction, and you know, 1 second too long in one direction will break your thing in half sometimes. So as you can see, I am crawling up this hill. I'm actually hauling ass up this hill. Imagine this going 10 times faster. It's ridiculous. I don't know how you could do this in real time. I think what this puzzle's here to actually do is teach you to use slow motion, you know, as a tool rather than just a cool cinematic thing. Because this is, I imagine, not impossible, but incredibly difficult to do without it. So there we go. I just gotta get myself over there. And I've done it. I can freeze it, which is kind of cool because you can get some cool action shots, I imagine, with that. So I'm going to be using that in the future if I can manage. And I think, yeah, that's about as far as I got. Now, I haven't really tried this one. And I think I'm just going to, like, save this for another episode. Unfortunately, so the game, well, this is fortunate for them. The game came out on Steam. It green-lighted, I got my key. Here's a crossbow just tearing shit up. But, so I got my key on Steam. Unfortunately, all the save data doesn't save, and the old save I don't think is compatible because I can't get it to load. So I have to remake all my things and rebeat all the things. on my Steam version to actually get back to this point. So I have to go beat that nightmare of a level again. But now that I know the trick of putting it at a lower speed, it's going to be a lot more manageable. And there I pushed my thing a little too far and broke off my steering wheels. It's good. Now, unfortunately, I also need an explosive to break this thing, and I can't beat the level without breaking that castle. So, next time we'll try that.